What's going on out there? It's Larry coming to you again, this time on the topic of women's athletics. Now, women's sports are often overlooked for the simple fact that men are more athletically gifted, I guess you can say, in terms of the entertainment aspect of sports. Now, granted, I'm not calling women unathletic in any way, shape, or form. I believe that women can perform just as equally as men do, but in terms of that elite level that we're so accustomed to seeing with guys like the LeBron James, guys like the A-Rods of the world, the guys like the Messis and the Cristiano Ronaldos of the world. Those guys are instantly recognizable, people that you know like on a name basis. When it comes to women's athletics, it's not really that, you don't really get that same reaction. Sure, you may know people like Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, but most of those girls that we know those from their college days. Lisa Leslie's, we know her from being the first woman to dunk. But when you look at the career breakdown of those women in sports, you don't really recognize them for anything else. Now, granted, I only named women basketball players because you can bring out the tennis players, the Serena Williams, the Maria Sharapovas, the Anna Ivanoviches, all those girls, because those names are more recognizable because they are a single participant sport. When it comes to the world of team sports, women don't get looked at generally in the same light. Take football, for instance. We got the NFL. Women's equivalent to the NFL is the Lingerie Football League. Do we watch as men? Yes, we watch as men. Why is that? Because there are women running around in lingerie tackling each other. I'm not taking anything away from these girls because I've watched the game and those girls can play. I'm not taking anything away from those girls. Hit hard, they run the ball, they pass the ball, they block, all the good stuff that we're accustomed to seeing, and they get a lot more rowdy, I guess because it's a lot more loose than the NFL. Now we have the newest thing coming, which is the Bikini Basketball Association. I'm not wanting to argue with anybody about a woman running around in a bikini playing basketball. I think women playing sports is sexy. I think women running around in bathing suits is also very sexy. Do I think you should combine the two? Yes. Do I think it will make a watchable sport? No. Why is that? Because sure, you can be a model, but does that actually mean that you can play ball? That is the biggest question that I have when it comes to stuff like this. Now, like I said, lingerie football, they proved me wrong. But when it comes to the game of basketball, it's a lot harder for a guy to literally sit down and watch women play the game of basketball because we're so used to crossovers, the dunks, the block shots, all that other good stuff that we get on a nightly basis that just make us say oh and ooh and all that other stuff. Women's basketball, while it is entertaining, is not the same as watching the NBA. When you watch the NBA or even men's college basketball, it's back and forth, the guys running up and down the court at a very fast pace. You have the teams that like to grind it out, slow it down, everything. You have a nice variety of stuff. When you watch women's basketball, granted now it has come along in a manner that everybody is tuned in a little bit more, but that's because we have people like Brittany Griner, who is an absolute physical beast in the game of women's basketball. And then you go to someone like Skylar Diggins, who can ball like no one else, but she is mainly recognized for her looks and not necessarily for her talents. Bikini basketball, as well as the Lingerie Football League, are recognizing gorgeous women who also happen to be very athletic. Now, I'm not saying that all these women will probably look good, all the women in the Lingerie Football League look good, but they look good half naked. So I think when it comes to selling women's sports, it shouldn't be relegated to just good looking women. Granted, good looking women will garner the attention of other men, but what about the women? Because you know, women take things a little more differently than guys do. Do I agree with the whole process of going through so many, I guess you can say, sexual loops in order to garner attention? Everybody knows that sex sells. Sex sells no matter what the case is. Look at, what is it, this Arbonne. Abarth car. I don't know what it is, a Fiat. When we first saw the commercial, nobody remembered the car. Everybody remembered the chick that was speaking whatever she was speaking to the little guy on the corner of the street. But it got everybody's attention. Women are going to sell regardless. Women are more attractive than men when it comes to just generally everything. Women like to look at other women, and men of course like to look at women. Women sell things a lot better than men, and I think that half-naked women playing basketball is going to sell the attention of men wanting to watch females play basketball even more, and maybe look at it as saying, hey, you know what, maybe I should give these WNBA girls a chance to ball. If these models can ball, I can just imagine what women who actually go out and practice every day do. That can be like the only positive thing that I can really garner from this. Me personally, I watch women's basketball, the WNBA, women's college basketball, all that other good stuff. I watch it. I don't hold much interest to the game, but I do know majority of the players. Do I tune in more when the playoffs start? Yes, I do. But I can say the same thing about hockey. I do not watch hockey at all until the playoffs start because I'm not really big on hockey. Baseball, I cannot watch baseball at all unless either the Rays or the Cubs are playing. But when the playoffs roll around, I can watch it. The WNBA is another one of those sports. I watch it, but when the playoffs roll around, I watch it more. Why is that? Because the game is not as fluid and up-tempo as the game that I know in the NBA. And that's the thing. It's always going to be compared to, can you gain the viewership or anything like that of the WNBA or the NBA or the NFL or anything like that. Now granted, it's not the same thing as a big city market or anything like that, because the market isn't the issue, it's the viewership that's the issue. And it doesn't work in all sports, because you can look at the UFL, for example. The UFL had a great idea going for them. The thing was, they went head to head with the NFL season. And when you go head to head with the NFL, you're generally not going to do well because nobody's going to pay attention with you. They had the players, they had the coaches, they had the facilities, they had decent football going on. But the thing that ruined them was the fact they went head to head with the NFL. This bikini basketball is going to go head to head with the WNBA season because it's going to supposedly start in summer of next year. We all know that WNBA season starts generally after the finals of the NBA begin, so we'll have to see how this thing plays out. But the main thing I want to bring up is, does sex really attract the attention to you watching women's sports more? I'm pretty sure that for most guys it's going to be yes, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how good you look. If you can't play the game, I do not really care to see you. I don't care how good you look. You can look amazingly hot in a bikini, but if you can't dribble a ball, you can't score and all that other good stuff, I really could care less about what you do. Am I going to watch it? I will watch the first game just to see what kind of talent these girls do have, because I'm going to give everybody a chance. Like I said, with lingerie football, I thought it was a gimmick at first, but then you actually watch the game, you see the intensity, the heart, the endurance that these girls put into it, and you're like, okay, they really want to play the game of football. We're going to have to see if the same thing happens with this bikini basketball thing, because from the pictures that I've seen of some of these girls, it doesn't look like they know how to dribble a ball. I've seen about 2 girls who look like they can actually play the game, but we'll have to see. That's just off of first observations, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think that bikini basketball will draw your interest in more, given the fact that many people really don't watch the WNBA, and these are women who actually practice the sport every day, not just models who think they can play basketball? Let me know what you guys think. This is Larry Jenkins. This has been a little sports report, I guess you can call that. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.